Hello everyone, welcome back to Royal News Network. My name is Brittany and today we are talking about the service of Thanksgiving. Were Harry and Meghan booed or were they not booed? This kind of fight and controversy has erupted on the internet with a lot of Sussex stands saying, no. Everybody cheered. They got the biggest cheers. Nobody booed. It was, lovely and, there was sunshines and rainbows and all that. Well, guys, I was there. I was actually right across the street from St. Paul's Cathedral. I had actually a pretty fantastic view, so good that the photographers also liked my view, so they were in my way a little bit. But I actually got kind of a primo view, and I can tell you guys, kind of for positive, yes, they were booed. And I have some audio and video evidence to back that up. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany and we talk about everything related to royal. So that's news, gossip, fashion, jewelry, television shows, movies, and history. We do it all right here. I love the royals. I even have the Queen's swatch right here. And I actually picked up my second one that I'm going to do a giveaway for. So I'm so excited about that. And like I said, today we are going to talk about the service of Thanksgiving and the crowd's reaction to Harry and Meghan. And again, this caused a lot of controversy. I actually tweeted, because somebody else actually said it next to me, that, they heard some booing and, poor Harry and Meghan. And I tweeted that and oh my gosh, people were like, no, lies. And yeah, that's just like, I'm just reporting what I heard and people are like, you have to be lying because everybody must love Meghan Markle. But anyways, before I start, let me just go over kind of a bit of kind of how I got to the service of Thanksgiving and what it was like. So I got there. I woke up at the same time this morning, 5 a.m. that I did for the Trooping the Color. I actually should have gotten up earlier for the Trooping of the Color and maybe later for the service of Thanksgiving, but I was actually one of the first people there. There was a very, very, very small crowd when I got there this morning at a little after 6. In fact, actually, the police had not put up the barriers yet, and so there was still traffic coming through. And so I found actually a pretty good spot, although I would have changed my mind later. So my spot was actually, I could see the doors to the cathedral directly, and I could get a shot directly of the royals facing me as they came out. And that was kind of my intention. However, the photographers, the professional ones, actually had the same idea. And so I just forgot that they had this little stand set up, and wouldn't you know it, they all stand there, and there's this one guy that must be 6'5". He is gigantic, and I'm looking at this too going, oh my gosh, I am never going to get my picture because this guy is going to be in the way. And honestly, they were kind of in the way, but I still got some pretty good pictures, which I'll share. But, most of the morning, it's not quite as, would say, as interesting as the Trooping of the Color in terms of that, things don't really start happening until closer to the service, which started at 11. We did obviously have people streaming in. We didn't really know anybody. There were some dignitaries, some political people who came in. Didn't know any of them. And we did have like a little march and a parade, so why don't you take a listen to this. And so that was fun, and we had like the troops lining up. Oh, we did have one exciting instance. One of the soldiers actually fainted while he was up. I think he was like on the top step, and he fainted, and he kind of had to be escorted down. But it was a just great opportunity to kind of see, again, Britain put on a fantastic show. And then we slowly started getting some of the more prominent arrivals. One of them was obviously Boris Johnson, and it was him and Harry and Meghan. They did get the boos. So he and his wife came in and they were kind of booed and jeered a bit. It was actually more prominent than it was with Harry and Meghan, but I'll get there. But, he's a politician. You expect that kind of reaction from a politician because politicians make decisions that people aren't entirely happy with. And by and large, the monarchy should almost always be in the space of getting positive press and positive public reaction because they shouldn't be doing anything to cause controversy. They should be pretty even keel, never complain, don't explain, and just very, very calm and just kind of a nurturing, strong presence without being overbearing and without being somebody who causes people to question why does the monarchy exist. When the monarchy is not popular and they get booed on general occasions, that's a sign of severe concern, and you should take a look at what happened to King Charles I to see what happened with that. It wasn't a good situation. So Harry and Meghan, you know, the rest of the royal family started to arrive, and most of the time it was to a couple cheers and stuff like that. So why don't you guys take a look at this video where some of the minor royals arrive. Okay, so the next video we have, I believe it is Beatrice Eugenie arriving with their husbands. I loved Beatrice's look. She's actually looking really fab lately. She's lost basically all her baby weight. She looks fantastic. I think this is like the thinnest we've ever seen her. And she's not, you know, unhealthy or anything like that. I just think it's fabulous for her. My weight has gone up and down, so I love seeing somebody who's like, and she's had a bit of that as well, although she did get it kind of under control and stuff. So I just admire that she looks so great. So take a listen to them arriving. Okay, so now the moment of truth. Were Harry and Meghan booed? Again, this caused a ton of controversy. If you mention the fact that they were booed, some Sussex Squad members freak out over this. And again, I just don't get it. Yes, your person is not liked by a good chunk of the population. Why is that so personally offensive to you? I don't quite understand it, because not all the royals I like. Some people really like certain royals. Other royals I'm like, I don't care. So I just don't understand, like, the fierce thing is like, you cannot do anything but love Meghan Markle. If you do anything but love Meghan Markle, you are crazy, you're a liar, you're, you know, da-da-da-da-da. They use every name in the book. But in this instance, you know, we heard a lot of controversy that no, and and what I've heard as well is that some people on social media said that yes, they heard the boos, and the mainstream media kind of downplayed it. But why don't you guys take a listen to this clip? This is when Harry and Meghan arrive. You can actually see him going in and coming out. Sorry, you can see him going in, I should say. And there is a gentleman in the back, and I can hear him boo twice. Now, this is very, very loud. The bells are very, very loud. And so you will hear, it's hard to hear. You may have to listen to it twice. If you do, go ahead. I won't hold it against you at all. You know, more views for me. But go ahead and listen and, you know, make a decision for yourself. That's what I heard. But of course, listen for yourself and see what you hear. Okay, guys, so I hope that is helpful for you and gives you some context of what I heard. And I honestly did not hear it when I was there. So I actually heard one of the people next to me mention that they heard people booing Meghan. And they were actually, you know, fans of Meghan's, or at least liked her, and were, you know, hoping that maybe, you know, her and Harry would get more cheers next time. Or they wanted to cheer louder so Harry and Meghan could drown out the boos. So honestly, I did hear that from somebody else. I did not hear it because I knew I was listening for it. However, I did talk to somebody else on Instagram, and she said she did hear it more. So it may have been where you were standing within St. Paul's Square. And I will also say I talked to my taxi driver this morning, who was a woman, not a fan of Meghan Markle in the slightest. I think I mentioned the booing, and she was all for it. I did not boo because I didn't want to, I cheered, but I did not boo because I did not want to influence other people. And honestly, if I was surrounded by Harry and Meghan fans, and it's like a small confined space, I don't really want to advertise I'm not a fan of hers at all. And honestly, I just did want to hear the crowd's reaction without me putting my 2 cents into it. Because I felt like, again, cheering for Charles, Camilla, William, and Catherine and the rest of the royals is a no-brainer because they're non-controversial by a large extension. Would I maybe boo for Andrew? Maybe, because, but honestly, his case is a he said, she said. We can't. I just stay a bit away from that. But I would understand if people did, and I would report the same thing if they did. Who would be surprised? Harry and Meghan are polarizing individuals. People either love them or hate them. There is almost no in between anymore. I did meet one taxi driver who was ambivalent. So I've talked to 2 taxi drivers about the royals. One hated Meghan, one didn't care. So take that for how you want to interpret it. But again, if you look at it, clearly Harry and Meghan, there was just a mixed reaction because they are a mixed package. At this point, they're not that popular. Their popularity has tanked. We saw this in a recent poll, like really, truly tanked. Harry used to be the most popular royal. And honestly, if there were any cheers, it was really for Harry. It was not for Meghan. Harry people still believe in Harry. They still want to believe in who Harry was. They want to believe in the good old boy. That's kind of an American colloquialism. They want to believe that he's a good lad and that he's, he's just kind of one of the lads. That's what English people want to think of him as. And they used to think of him that way, no longer with Meghan. So if you look at all this, I think the cheers were for Harry, really. And I felt more people interested in Harry, not necessarily in Meghan. And there wasn't really any shouts going, Meghan! I didn't hear anything like that. I heard more talk about Harry. So if we get to the exit, they have the service. We couldn't really hear anything, unfortunately. Some people were able to pull it up on their iPhones, which surprised me because there were a decent amount of people there, especially leaving was a nightmare. Leaving was awful because the sidewalks are narrow and they hadn't opened up the street yet, even though there was nobody driving on it except for like the people coming from the event. And so, but it was just incredibly claustrophobic. So when it came to departures, obviously Camilla and Charles and Catherine and William left first, and there were cheers for them. And the audience was, very, very interested in their departure. And then the next group that came out, and again, this is the new order of things. It's no longer the line of succession because Harry has totally tanked that. And his spot in the cathedral, I was right. Guys, when I put together my, I had a video questioning whether or not the monarchy would kind of humiliate and put Harry and Meghan in their place during their Jubilee trip. They really did, because they sat them in the second row behind Edward's family. And actually, Beatrice and Eugenie were ahead of them, basically, because they were closer to the aisle and Harry and Meghan were in the back. That's a pretty clear sign. They didn't want him anywhere near Charles, William, Catherine, Camilla, or the Queen if she had been there. They were on the other side. They were behind, the extended family members. So it was very, very clear. Now, Harry, in 2012, he was in the first row with Catherine and William. Now he's been relegated to the back row behind his uncle and with his cousins essentially kind of in front of him. Like, that's pretty kind of humiliating for him in a lot of ways. And you could tell that he was not happy. But this is the life he chose. He chose this. He chose this reality for himself. That he refuses to recognize it, that's all on Harry. Anyway, so leaving the departure, obviously, Catherine and William and Charles and Camilla, they left first because they're first in the line of succession. The next to come out was Princess Anne and Prince Edward and their respective spouses and families. And then you kind of come back, and then it's the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, and then you have Beatrice and Eugenie come out. And then we get Zara Phillips before Harry and Meghan finally join Zara Phillips and her husband and Peter Phillips. So this was a very weird departure because, again, when it comes to hierarchy, and monarchies are all pretty much about hierarchy, it should have been Charles, William, and then Harry leaving. That Harry wasn't there shows you how far he's been put in his place, really. He's been told, you're not as important, you're not walking with the royal family, and you're not departing, first like you used to. You're departing, wherever you fit in the order of the cars. So that was very, very interesting. Obviously, people have said that they walked alone into the church. You know, they had their kind of solo processional. And I think that was probably in a way, kind of putting Harry and Meghan in their place as well, as they didn't really want any other family members kind of being attached to them that much. And so Harry and Meghan were obviously chatting with Zara Phillips and Mike Tyndall and Peter Phillips. And again, this is the time I heard the prominent boos, but they were not recorded on my audio. So, at least not that I can hear, but I used to listen to a lot of music, so sometimes I feel like my hearing is already getting a little shot. So why don't you take a listen and let me know if you hear any booing in this. Now, what I'm going to do for this one, because actually I got so I had my camera, my camera, because I was really thought this would be a great time to take long range pictures. And then I also had the video, and I was trying to do both, and that was a failure because my battery was dying on my phone, because doing the video on these things, it takes up a lot of battery juice. So all I got was like the ground and the sidewalk. So I'll overlay the audio with my pictures and kind of show, because you hear people next to me. We mentioned the Duke of Gloucester. We mentioned Zara Phillips talking to Meghan, and you can actually hear Harry and Meghan's car leaving. So, you know, do with this as you will, interpret this how you will, but this is what we heard. Duke of Gloucester. Oh, they got it's like a bright theme. Oh, Lord Snowden. Okay, guys. So again, if you heard booing, or if you didn't, it doesn't matter. I know prominently that I heard booing the second time. I definitely heard it. Did not hear it the first time, but caught it on audio. Heard it the second time, but did not catch it on audio. I don't know what to tell you. But, you know, it just goes again to show you that Harry and Meghan have a really big problem, is that they're polarizing figures, and their unlikability is pretty high. And this is really troublesome for them because of the work they're trying to do. They're trying to break into the entertainment industry. And a huge portion of that is being likable. And if you're Netflix going, our people we're paying $100 million to were booed on international television just for showing up at an event with his family, it kind of makes for good TV drama, but it also is concerning as, will Harry and Meghan be able to sell their vision of their reality show to the public? Will they watch? Will they invest? Or will they, you know, just hate it, trash it, hate on them? Will people, you know, kind of leave Netflix because of Harry and Meghan? I mean, this is a big question. And this is why Harry and Meghan really had to work on trying to be likable as a couple. And they're not. And that's a challenge that they'll face over the next couple years, and why, you know, this venture with Spotify and Netflix is really hanging on by a thread. And one last thing I'll add before I conclude. Obviously, a lot of people talked about Meghan's fashion look. Honestly, I think it's an exact copy of what Princess Charlene, then just Charlene, wore to William and Kate's wedding. It looks like an exact copy to me. And it was an okay outfit, but I wasn't a fan necessarily of that. I wasn't a super fan of the hat, and I wasn't a super fan of Meghan's version either. However, what I thought was really interesting is that she, for a very plain, very boring, very uninteresting ensemble, it is bespoke Dior. Ergo, that thing probably cost a small fortune. Catherine's was also bespoke, but because it was Amelia Wickstead and not a haute couture outfit, I'm sure she paid a tenth of the price that Meghan paid. Meghan also custom made, bespoke her pumps. Now, maybe it was because those pumps exactly matched the coat. I don't know, but pumps are pumps. Like, you don't need to make it bespoke unless the color is super unique. And I can think of actually an Aquazzura pair that would actually match that color scheme almost perfectly. And like, who would know? They could be a repeat of the navy Dior outfit that she wore in 2018, I believe. But I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, where I'm going with this is that Harry and Meghan, I think their desperation is really showing. Now, I want to do kind of an examination of their kind of failing business empire, because I think some of the things they've done is super fascinating to show where their minds are at. However, what I thought was kind of like looking at her outfit, and that she probably spent tens of thousands of dollars on that look. The reason she did is she's desperate to show, I think, in a way, and I could be totally wrong, this is just my opinion, just saying that right now, is that she's wanting to portray that her and Harry are doing exceptionally well, and so she spends probably $20,000 on that outfit. Just to kind of, again, it's all about portraying this element of, yes, we are successful. Look at it, I'm still wearing bespoke Dior. And, you know, she could probably afford it. That's not, you know, that's not the end of the world. You know, personally, I think they're bleeding money, or beginning to, because they have a huge problem, which is that not only are they not likable, but the other problem that they're having is that I don't think they're necessarily very creative. And their whole business model right now is based on their ability to create original, interesting, and compelling material, which I think they're really, really struggling to do. And a lot of people mentioned that there was kind of a weird bump in this outfit, and if it's a bespoke Dior and it had a bump and it wasn't a mic, because a lot of people are saying it was a mic for Netflix, then whoever made that at Dior should be fired, because, you know, she probably spent 20 grand on that outfit, and you should not have any lumps and bumps in it at all. But if it was for Netflix and she was recording, A, why? Because, you know, pretty much all they would hear is the service. And B, it just goes to show how desperate they are. They need this royal weekend. They have to have it because they don't have anything else anymore. They tried this, and yes, they're kind of continuing it, but really, they failed at it pretty badly. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about, you know, kind of the booing situation. I shared with you my audio, and again, in audio and video, again, take it for what you will. I heard booing. I heard booing, and I believe there was booing. And there was definitely kind of a murmur of a mixed reaction going, kind of thing. And so it's kind of difficult to tell. But anyways, guys, they were definitely booed. So Harry and Meghan have a tough road to climb here in the UK to kind of pull back a modicum of respect. Although they do have a chunk of the population that likes them. But I think sometimes people just cheer because they're at those kind of events and they just cheer. And that is how it is. Especially for an event like that, if it was something where it was just Harry and Meghan at a particular event, maybe the booing would be worse. But again, not that I know. Anyways, guys, thank you again for watching. Please subscribe. I have so much more content coming for this trip. It's been a lot of fun. Tomorrow I'm going to Hampton Court Palace and most likely the Epsom Derby, though I haven't totally made that decision yet, although I'm pretty sure I'm going. I just got to get rid of my allergies. I need to take some allergy medicine tonight because the allergies here are killing me. I was not expecting that. But guys, I am loving my time here. I'm loving being able to share with you. If you haven't, you need to check out my Instagram. It's also Royal News Network. And I'm doing kind of more updates on there in stories and stuff because that is just kind of an easier medium than, you know, getting a video together. So anyways, guys, I so appreciate you watching. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon with more videos. Bye.